You're good, sir. Thank you.
All right, 6:30. Looks like Steve's coming in. All right, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. First thing on our agenda is Pledge of Allegiance. This is one of our official formal meetings, so we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join us. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the next item on the agenda is our public comments. We are going to have a short meeting tonight, but we did have some business to get through. So any comments on the agenda, any questions?
Not on the agenda, but I have two suggestions.
Okay.
We have an impact fee on every new house that's being built in a plant, right? It's usually about $2,000. I think it should be up to $4,000. Okay, they'll pay, and make it dedicated to pay off the new loan. And the second thing is, there's no AI buildings. I don't think we can stop them, but I think the biggest complaint I've heard about it is the noise.
And what's this, of what?
Those AI centers.
Data center.
Data centers. There's a lot of noise. And you guys got to figure out what's the acceptable decibels for the outside.
But I was gonna actually bring up a lot of stuff about the data center, but I didn't have every time to get everything together. But they're pulling in close to $1 million or more a day. Plus the amount of electricity, the number of diesel generators they have to run is backup on those. And then the constant humming between the generators and the data centers. Most data centers are out of date between 7 to 10 years, so what happens after that? They're trying to sneak them in with NDAs and all kinds of stuff right now, with property owners. There's a big action going on right now in Big Beaver Borough, on Beaver County, on 400 acres.
Well, we got a lot of, you're maybe onto something. We have a lot of gas in this area. We got gas wells all over the township. Someone sets up a power plant on one of those gas wells and starts running a data center.
I'm sure.
It's a,
Yeah, well, you have to have water too, because they're killing wells. I can show you videos of areas in this country where they literally killed wells on farms that are next to these data centers.
They aren't pretty either.
We should probably do the same thing what we did with the solar farms. Make them put up a bond for as long as it's there. Because who's going to tear it down after 10, 15 years? You know, at least the one will help do that.
yeah, solar farms too. We required a certain large plot of property. They had to have buffer zones around them just to alleviate any of the issues. So something like that for the noise and light pollution would probably be a good idea too. So that would be in our zoning, probably they're included in our zoning, which is going to be the third document that we're going to work on. I'll talk to Mary about the fees. I don't know how those could change. It's something the supervisors probably have to go over.
Make a motion to do a resolution on that. Yes.
But if this is a popular area everybody wants to come to, then they've got to pay, right? I don't have any problem.
There's more to it than that. We'll look at. They just can't arbitrarily. There has to be justification for them. So we don't know the exact process right now.
But, you know, the other Great Townships charging $3,000. I mean, we're probably below that.
Okay, any other comments or suggestions on the agenda?
Just one thing, I got a question. Are you guys gonna talk about this tonight?
Yeah.
Basic question is kind of rhetorical, but how involved was the planning commission in the decision to purchase this property and the design of the plans? It says this project complies with the township's comprehensive plan. Did you guys review this with your comprehensive plan and stuff? Was this addressed to your meeting? Because I missed it if it was.
No, we pretty much were told about this plan when the rest of the residents in the community were. We were not involved in it. I don't believe we're supposed to be. You know, they could have included us. They really, I don't know what the rules are for them, But we were not involved. I can tell you though, that when they come up with site plans and grading plans and paving and all that, it has to come through the planning commission. So all that after the fact, development, that all has to go through. But we don't do much with budgets. We don't do much with.
No, I was more referring to the statement that I assume you guys are going to sign off on or vote on sign off. It says here, the project complies with the township's comprehensive plan. Did you guys review this with the comprehensive plan, and how did you come to that decision, or did I miss something? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Well, I think the way I interpreted that is we anticipate a lot of growth in the township. We need more bigger facilities.
100% agree.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that. The statement you're going to be signing off on says that basically you guys reviewed this and it complies with your comprehensive plan that we're discussing right here. Have you done that in private, or, I mean, where has that occurred?
Can I interject just quickly? This actually doesn't say in general the comprehensive plan, but in regard to working on a new township building adjacent, so it's sort of specific, what I'm looking at right here.
The one I have says this project complies with the township's comprehensive plan
Identifying that, well, the township is currently working on a new town, so that seems sort of narrow, but I understand what you're saying, but.
Well, this is the planning commission, and their job is to do develop ordinances to recommend to the supervisors for the comprehensive plan, for the comprehensive plan. And if you're gonna sign off on this document, I guess I would have hoped you would investigate that, or been involved in it, so.
Well, I'll answer it for me. I can't answer it for all the members. Having been involved in the comprehensive plan, I am perfectly in line with the fact that that statement is true.
Okay,
And that's for me, and that'll be part of my vote. And this was a draft letter sent to us, proposed by the township engineer, which I, for myself, have reviewed, and I'm assuming everyone else has reviewed, whether they're in agreement with that, and they'll vote accordingly.
Okay, no, that's what I was asked.
I think we voted on it today.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we haven't really made any decisions yet. This is
That's why I'm bringing it up. You actually have, but if you vote on it, you're gonna say you have made a decision. So I'm assuming the decisions have been made, and you're gonna vote on it accordingly. I guess I missed where you guys discussed this.
We haven't.
Okay.
We'll be discussing it prior to vote tonight.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other comments? We're good. Administrative items. I'm going to pull out the PRD work assignments that I handed out. I'd just like to go over with this.
I think you just didn't grab mine.
I grabbed mine.
You want them there? Okay, good.
So we got into the PRD just a little bit, say a month ago, and then the Saldo came back as a draft, and we switched back to the Saldo to get that finished. At one of the meetings, Sylvia, I believe, handed out about 7 different example PRDs from different townships that most of us got copies of. If you didn't get a copy, it's probably because you weren't here. I do have them all in my black notebook here. But I was thinking about it, and I'm like, how can we do this efficiently? And my thought was, rather than have everybody look through every one of these township PRDs and consider all the areas, I kind of assigned everybody to look at specific areas that are probably, I'll just use it for lack of a better word, your superpowers. You know, Joel's a real estate guy, so I'm going to have him look at real estate issues. You know, Bob's a developer, I'm going to look at him, have him look at it from that perspective. Matt's an engineer, Meredith's an engineer, I'm an engineer. We'll look at the engineering parts. Debbie, you're kind of into the parks and recreation side of it, so the open space is probably right up your lane. And Dale, I thought, you know, building standards, you know, should we, do we like the Miranda homes that are, you know, have the skinny windows and the spinal wrapped around, or do we want something with that, you know, can we even put in requirements for stone facades and architectural roof lines and things like that? I mean, I hope we can, and that would be our goal. It's just a matter of, you know, what the laws allow. But I think if you can find stuff like that in these other PRDs and extract that, then out of all these different townships, find the ones that you like the most, find maybe bits and pieces of different ones that you think we should include and try to capture all that, yellow highlighted, mark it on your sheets, and then when we all get together and try to combine this into one PRD, we'll at least given it a really good comprehensive view from our own perspectives. And we're not spending hours and hours, which we don't have everybody looking at everything. So I think for the first cut, that's good. And Bob had a comment the other day, so I'll let you talk about missing things, not knowing what you don't know and not included. So you wanna, I can summarize it, but when I talked to Bob about this the other day, he said, the biggest thing is what you miss. It's not what's in there, it's what you miss, what you don't think about, what you hadn't considered, when somebody comes from left field and want to do something and you haven't covered. So if you can think of anything that we want to consider, there's outside issues that just don't seem to be standard. But I think if we do it this way from our own perspectives and our own areas of expertise, focusing in on all 7, we really can extract out of these other 7.
My comment to elaborate on that a little bit was, like, even in the building industry, we were estimating the cost of construction of something. The worst thing that can happen in that is forgetting a line item, because you just totally forgot the line item. You're at least better off to have a line item in and put guess beside it and put a number there than you are to just miss the line item. Same applies to these ordinances. We're at least better to cover something, make sure we get something in there, rather than just totally miss something that we should be talking about.
Yeah, so even if it's only half, only addresses half of it, at least then it's in there, and if it gets
The
goes
starting
through,
point,
we start point, we build on. So be creative, but I thought this would just help us all focus on certain areas and save us all some time. There was a good fit. All right. That's all I really had for the administrative items tonight. Anybody, is there anything else that we as a group should be talking about? Okay. Review of the minutes. So the September 30th meeting minutes. Everybody get a chance to look through those. I think they captured our discussions in the meeting pretty well. We need a motion. Yeah, we do. I move that we accept the minutes.
I'll second.
So, all in favor? Okay, so the minutes from the 30 September meeting are approved. The Tuesday, October 14th meeting minutes, again, I read through them. I think they captured.
Just that one typo.
There's a
paragraph
typo,
3.
yeah, where it says heave, and it should just say have. So, can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion. I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The meeting minutes from October 14th are approved. I hope that Joel is, he usually takes them. I forgot to ask tonight, that's usually right at the top of my list, but I saw him with the laptop open, so. Okay, old business, log cabin and land development plan. So they owed us some new documents and submittals, which they did not provide as of yet. So we're gonna just table that until next month. They have until next month to either submit their revised plan or ask for an extension. But we have no action on that tonight. Next item on the agenda is the planning letter for the township's LSA grant application. Prior to this meeting, the planning commission went up to the 600 Perry Highway property and got a quick tour of some of the buildings and structures in the land. Gave us a better feel for the area and what the township was planning to do. We all felt it fit right in with, well, at least I felt that it fit right in with the overall needs of the township, municipality. There's room for expansion, and it looked like a good thing. So That's where I land on that. Anybody else have comments, either concerns or positive findings?
It's a beautiful piece of property. First thing is we have all our amenities on one parcel. Community center, the administrative building. You can finally see what they were talking about in these public forums. So it's good to see that. It's a bigger, the buildings are bigger than I was anticipating. There's a lot of room for growth and storage of equipment, heavy equipment, and then the access to the park is just amazing. They'll be right adjacent to the park and create a linkage. It's a nice piece of property. I think it's a good investment. That's for sure.
Debbie?
I feel like it is a lot bigger than what I anticipated the buildings. You know, there's a lot more back in there than what I thought. The plan seems good. We do need to have more space. I know a lot of people are concerned about the taxes going up, and, you know, we've been promised that will not happen. So, the plan is good. There's a lot of work that needs done on some of the buildings. But to have the police there and everything together, and they showed us where the road crew, you know, would have their big building, and then where all the pallets would go, like all the salt, everything that's here will be moved up there. Back in.
So one of the things we learned that the LSA grant itself, that is subject to this letter, is a pretty large grant, amount, to get to $1 million. So it's a pretty substantial grant application.
Yeah.
It was good to hear about that process, that there could be monies coming in and not just going out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the township feel that we don't need it, but we will need it in the future. And the opportunity to get it is today. You know, we're looking at all this stuff to control growth. The growth is going to be coming, and as that growth comes, it's going to put more, I don't know if pressure is the right word, but more, we're going to have the facilities to handle what is coming in, and we will need that. With what we got, would maybe be good for 5 years, maybe 10 years, but it will be needed down the road. And, you know, the opportunity to buy it now and at a price, I know $1 million is a lot of money, but that property is actually probably worth more than that. So I think for the future growth and the future of the township and putting everything in one place, I think it was a good move.
Well,
I was pleasantly surprised that I didn't see as many environmental and other issues on the site as I was led to believe existed. That was one. I do think the buildings are going to take a fair amount of work in some instances. Overall, I'm mixed on the project, to be honest, whether that's the right thing or Forest Springs Park was the right thing, or where I'm mixed. But remember, what we're voting on here isn't if we like the project. What we're voting on here is our support for grant application. That's all we're voting on. We're not saying we like what they're proposing on that park. We could decide we don't like what they're proposing and still vote yes on a grant application. And I'm mixed on the exact design and use of the buildings and all that. I'm not saying I'm pro or con, I'm mixed, but I am in favor of the grant application, which is what we're voting on here. And I think I'm in agreement with everything that says.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I was surprised how big it was. It was bigger than I thought it was going to be. And I didn't realize there were any buildings on that property at all. To what Bob said there, you're exactly right. We're voting on, applying for a grant, which I'm 100% comfortable with. We didn't have much to do with the discussion. It's not our right to decide to buy the property. That's not what the planning commission does. That is something the supervisor do. So we didn't have anything to do with that, but we will be involved with what happens with the properties up there. because that does have to go through the planning commission. So, yeah, I feel 100% comfortable applying for the grant. And as far as what Mike was saying, and it is the comprehensive plan, that's something we're doing, is applying for, we're going to build a building next to the park. So I think that's the comprehensive plan as it was stated. So.
Okay, thank you.
I think one other thing, that the facilities here can still be used in a transition mode, that's what the concept was, so we're not losing that much to gain that, so we'll still have this building and others to transition into it. It won't be an overnight thing, according to the, well, we haven't seen any plans, but until we see plans, I kind of agree with Bob, you know, it's a big project. We'll see what it looks like.
Where it also provides a lot of options, you know, where you keep the police, where you keep your maintenance facilities, where you keep your, you know, municipal facilities, and you can move them around in different buildings as you're rehabbing things or rebuilding or whatever. So, and pulling the police out of a rented building back there saves them the rent every month, which could pay for part of the mortgage loan. So there's some benefits. But anyhow, like Bob said, we're just going to vote on us endorsing township for applying for this grant. We get a
So moved.
I'll second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We're not going to talk about the subdivision and zoning ordinances tonight with our township engineer not here and our zoning officer not here. It's tough to capture what we're talking about and the changes that are going to be made because Tom normally does that and Sylvia provides us with a lot of good input. Without those two folks here, probably not going to get a lot done. What we will get done may not be really worthwhile. Because we just don't have, we may have to go back over it again. So we'll call it a short meeting. And well, that brings us to the public comments on other items. So,
Since you brought up the new campus. First of all, I didn't like the way it was presented initially, a lot of confusion and a lot of misinformation. But we had a campus that had all that here. There was no improvement, no grants applied for to improve this facility. So the deed was submitted October 14th, the recorder of deeds. This is what I don't understand. The 13th, everything was signed, 14th, it was recorded. And the last minute meeting, they were talking about a loan. How do you work that out?
I believe that the money we did pay for it. I believe the money was fronted. However, when the loan, we close on the loan, then we get that money back.
Okay. Was there a hand limit put on it?
I believe so.
How much?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you.
10,000. That's it for a loan? Okay.
No, that's not for the loan, that would have been hand money.
That was just
the sales agreement.
Yeah.
with the contingencies.
Did you guys look at the sales agreement?
That's not part of
No, we
purview.
Okay.
But I do believe if I would have raised my hand and said, Mary, can I come up and look at it? She would have said, come on up to the office. Fine. I didn't have time, and really it's not my lane of expertise. So.
But last meeting, you were talking about the loans, and in the Butler Eagle, it says they were considering purchasing. So it was already bought, and then when the interview was done, was about 7 days later, it didn't make sense. So,
I know you're just giving us your perspective. We can't really answer any of that because we're just.
and there was no celebration saying we bought this thing. It's now we're going to work with it.
So,
And it's confusing, totally confusing.
Just time with them. I think the first meeting I was appointed and attended, there was a motion on the agenda to authorize the chairman to execute all the closing documents, so I believe that was authorized in September. So that would have been before, and then the closing would have taken place.
But it wasn't explained that he was gonna sign I gave him permission to do it. But things got, when you look at it, the deed has 2 parcels, actually it's 3. I don't know if it's still containing 13.5 acres. I don't know that.
They told us 13, so it's 13.5.
Well, they withheld 1.9 acres behind the cemetery. So I don't know if that was taken off of the 12.9 acres. So, but,
I don't think we have any knowledge of the transaction.
and then this campus here has 5 parcels, A, B, C, D, and E, which I didn't understand until I read up on it. But anyway, yeah, we have it now, make the best of it.
Mary intends to, once, the property's in transition right now, but once they get things a little bit better cleaned up, she's gonna have some public showings. Maybe that's your.
Well, hopefully they present some positive information that you can use, so.
But she's gonna offer people that are interested to go up and take a look and explain what we're doing.
Okay, comes.
Okay, any other public comments? All right, we're a little faster than I thought it was.
I move to adjourn.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.